Now that I've had the GenMobile for a few days, as you can see, I took the sticker off of it. I wanted to do an update video. I'm actually really happy with this thing. The build quality on it is pretty decent. You can press on the buttons really hard and the screen doesn't wobble. You know, there's really no major issues with it. Even the battery life so far has been good, and I've been playing a lot of games on it. One of the first games I played on it was Outrun. One funny thing I noticed about Outrun is how slow the music is. As you can see, the gameplay is really smooth. The gameplay itself is fine. But for some reason the music is super slow motion. So Outrun works really good on it, other than the music being really slow. And then, so in similar vein, I like playing Road Rash 2 on it. And Road Rash 2 actually runs pretty good on it too. The music's perfect, and the gameplay's perfect. This is Lotus Turbo Challenge, and I thought Lotus Turbo Challenge would be awesome on here because Road Rash was awesome on here, and Outrun was pretty awesome other than the music. But did you see what happened there? My car just stopped for no reason. Seems to do this once in a while. I can't figure out why. You'll be going along super fast, and then you just stop instantly, like you hit something but you didn't. So there's obviously something wrong with this game. Like I said, virtual racing doesn't work on here. I can't get Test Drive 2 to work on here either. I love playing the Sonic games on here. As I shown in the first part, I was playing Sonic 1 on it. And the music was really bad on the TV out. But when it's going through this chintzy speaker on the handheld, I mean, you don't have it up as loud, and you don't notice it as much. And of course, with Sonic the Hedgehog, you really only have one button to press. So the fact that the 6 buttons aren't as easy to access as a real controller doesn't really matter. You can do really well playing the Sonic games on here. As you can see, Earthworm Jim runs really good, and it actually sounds really good too. But it's a little bit harder to play really action-intense games on here, because the controls aren't as good as holding a real controller. And a good example of the controls is Street Fighter 2, or any fighting game for that matter. Street Fighter 2 sounds pretty decent, and it runs perfectly. The biggest problem with this game is the D-pad. It's really hard to pull off the fireballs and the special moves. I can't do the tuck, chuck, shuck, hurricane kick. And I can barely throw fireballs. I'm trying to throw fireballs, I just can't do it. It's really hard to pull off the fighting moves. It's a shame because it runs perfect. It really does run really good on here. As most games do. But the problem with the D-pad, which I didn't show in the first part, is it's actually two separate pieces. When you press left, you can see the up part moves, but the right doesn't come up. The up and left is one piece of plastic underneath, and down and right is one piece of plastic underneath. I wish it was all one piece of plastic underneath. It's really weird how they did it like that. I've never seen anything like that before. So I thought it would be good to play, you know, non-action based games on it. RPGs. The sound in this one's awful, but funny thing about Scooby-Doo Mystery is the sound on even Fusion is awful. And that's a good emulator. Most games sound really good on it, but this one sounds awful. And coincidentally, it sounds awful on here. Yeah, come on. This is an awesome game. I've shown it before. It's basically a point-and-click adventure game, very similar to like Day of the Tentacle kind of thing, or Monkey Island. Very similar to those LucasArts Scum games. As you can see, you have your commands at the bottom of the screen. You know, look, pick up. And the graphics are very similar to Day of the Tentacle. These games have a lot of reading in them, and the screen being so small, and the text, you know, the graphics are scaled down slightly. You know, so there's a little bit of like interpolation or something going on there, which makes the small text even harder to read. But as you can see there, you can read everything. And the beat-em-ups just get a little bit uncomfortable with the controls. And I pointed that out before. The way you have to hold this thing, it gets a little bit uncomfortable on the hands after a while. So in a beat-em-up game, where you're going to be, you know, button mashing, you know, you might hurt your hand after a while. It's not the most comfortable thing. But Ninja Turtles runs pretty good on here. And so far, I mean, pretty much most of the games have ran so far. Just really been the odd few that I had any troubles with. You know, platformers, if they're not... Platformers, if they're not too, you know, intense, if they're not too much beat 'em up stuff or too fast on the controls. I mean, Castle of Illusion is pretty laid back platformer. Really only 2 buttons you need to use out of the 6-button controller. Jump and attack. Games where you just have a simple jump and attack kind of platform games, you can play pretty well on here. So Castle of Illusion works great, and this is a Mega Drive game, not like it matters. It's a region-free Mega Drive game. And one game I did play on here for quite a while actually is Flashback. I really like Flashback. And once again, the action in Flashback's not very fast. I mean, your guy moves kind of slow. So the animation plays quite well. The raster animation in this game. As you can see there. The sound's a little off once again. But on the little chintzy speaker, I usually don't have the volume up very loud anyways. And as you can see, like I said, this game, the controls, you know, they're not very fast-paced. And once again, Sonic the Hedgehog games on it are fun. Because you only have to use one button, so you can kind of relax your hand and I actually use C. Easiest just to use C on here to jump. And then you can hold the thing more comfortably, because you don't have to get to the other buttons in the Sonic games. You only need to use the one button. So even though they're intense platformers, the screen's very responsive. You know, you can move really fast with Sonic, as you can see there. You know, and it doesn't get blurry like the Nomad would. So that's cool. I just wanted to show you guys what I've been doing with it. And like I said, I'm more happy with it now. So I can recommend this. I can definitely recommend this for Genesis on the go. But don't expect to play 6-button fighting games on it and stuff. Anything too intense. Because it's just the controls aren't good enough compared to holding a real controller without hurting your hands anyways.